I just bought 4 helium miners. But what's helium? Oh, I thought you'd never ask. The Helium Network is a network of hotspot miners placed around the world that use a very, very small percentage of your home's Wi-Fi bandwidth to produce a long-fi signal for the Helium Network. The long-fi signal is very similar to Wi-Fi, except it reaches much, much further. So as these hotspots are placed across the globe, the network, also known as the People's Network, grows through the Proof of Coverage protocol to provide secure, fast, and cheap network to companies and individuals for their Internet of Things devices. Internet of Things, also known as IoT devices, could be anything from GPS locators in cars, scooters, and other modes of transportation, to sensors and other smart home devices that need an internet connection to send out a signal. Usually these IoT devices will use cellular networks like AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, which are way harder to set up and much more expensive. Most of the devices in your home right now do not use the Helium network because when you set them up, you most likely connected them to a Wi-Fi instead of the Helium network. To actually use the Helium network, you would need to create a Helium console account and buy data credits, which are very similar to buying mobile minutes on a cellular plan, and help cover the cost of transferring the data on the Helium network. When these data credits are purchased, a small amount of the helium is actually burned, causing a deflationary effect on the total amount of helium. And since there is a finite amount of helium, usually the price of the coin will go up, which is a very good thing. Now let's talk about the main component of the Helium network, the hotspots. These hotspots look like wireless routers and use a very small amount of power as well as your home Wi-Fi bandwidth to supply long-fi to the Helium network, which in return you receive HNT tokens that can be sold as cash. So originally, Helium would allow you to create your own hotspot with a Raspberry Pi and a decent antenna, but now Helium requires you to buy one of their third-party manufacturer hotspots. All of them work the same, they all earn you the same amount of HNT token, so it doesn't matter which one you pick, but the one important thing you need to do is select the correct frequency, because if you don't, then you will not be earning any HNT token. Now the amount of HNT token you receive is dependent on a few factors I'm about to explain, so please don't go rush to buy a Helium miner without finishing this video. There are 3 different ways you can earn HNT tokens. First is by proof of coverage, second is by consensus groups, and third is by data transfer. Let me talk about each of them. To help explain proof of coverage, think of it as a court case where you need witnesses and evidence to back up your claims. So think of this black box as the Helium network, and just use the Sprite can as one of a hotspot. So the Helium network needs to know if this hotspot is actually online and up and running. So it'll send a signal asking for the hotspot to send a signal back that is online, up and running, and connected to the network. Once that happens, you will receive a small reward of HNT token for confirming that you are up online. Now, this is where you can earn even more HNT token, where you have a second hotspot that acts as your witness to say, oh yes, I can confirm that you are online. So both of these will send a signal back to the Helium network saying that this hotspot is online. And that is where you make much, much more Helium tokens. And that is also why you see all these Helium hotspots placed in one big group around each other, because they all want to have witnesses around them so that they keep earning more and more HNT tokens. Now let's talk about the consensus groups. So to explain this, I wrote up like a little thing because I didn't even know how to say it myself, so I wrote it up, and I'm just going to read it off my phone. But pretty much it is a lottery for the hotspot miners, and if you get selected, you're really lucky. You earn a lot of HNT token. But pretty much, it starts with 16 members per epoch. 4 new members are selected, while the 12 remain the same, which they end up being replaced in the next 3 epochs. New epoch is generated every 30 blocks, and each block is 30 seconds, so a new epoch is created approximately every 15 minutes. So the rewards for this is average reward when you are selected is 45 HNT, but there is a wide range. There's been people that make 450 HNT token in like 2 or 3, maybe 2 hours. It's crazy. But I did some little math and I worked out the odds of this. So For future proof, there are almost 90,000 active hotspots in the past 30 days. And each hour, 8 new members are selected to the consensus groups. So if you just do the math, 90,000 divided by 8 is 11,250 hours to cover 90,000 hotspots. So this means you have the odds to be selected once every 469 days, otherwise known as 15.4 months or 1.28 years. So originally it was not that bad. It was like once every like 130 days, but now as the network keeps growing and growing, your odds of actually being selected are getting slimmer and slimmer. And actually in August they're taking this completely away. This is 6% of the rewards that go out to Helium miners, but they're taking this away and putting it and giving it to the validators, which is kind of like a normal Bitcoin miner or something like that, if you understand what those are. Now, data transfer is very simple. It's as it sounds. You get rewards for transferring data from the IoT devices through the network. Pretty simple, nothing else to that. Now, what you really want to know is how much are you actually going to make by mining HNT tokens. So realistically, I was looking at a lot of different places, a lot of different miners, and I did some research, and I would say roughly around $1,000 per Helium miner that's active and online and has at least one witness. So if you have at least one witness, you should be making somewhere in the range of $1,000, a little less, maybe a little more. But if you don't have a witness, I'm sorry to tell you, you probably won't be making more than around maybe $100. But also, you got to make sure when you place your Helium miners, you need to be at least 300 meters away from the other one, or else that reward that goes to that 300 meter little area is going to be split with the other Helium miners that are in that same area. So make sure you split them up 300 meters apart, and you should be making around $1,000 per Helium miner each month. So yes, I did buy 4 Helium miners. I bought all of them from Bobcat. I bought the Bobcat miner with the included 4 dBi antenna, which is really good, especially for where I'm at. I have a lot of trees in between stuff and just some landscape that could get in the way of the signal, so that 4 dBi antenna is awesome. And I'm hoping to receive them in August. It better not be September. I'm going to be a little frustrated. I order them all the way back in April, so it's been a while. The shipping times right now are terrible from China. Also, all these different companies are backed up with all these different orders that people are making. I think it's now 12 to 20 weeks from the time you order to actually for them to even ship it. And once they ship it, it could be another 3 weeks from there. So right now, if you haven't ordered your Helium miner, do some more research. Just make sure you know what you want to do, and you know the risks that you could be taking, because that Helium rewards is halving in August. So nobody knows what's going to happen with the coin. Hopefully the price will go up to cover the cost difference and the earnings difference, but you never know what could happen. So thank you for watching this video. Appreciate it. If you like it, subscribe. Peace.